Good afternoon. My name is Melissa Peros. I'm the Chief Compliance Officer and General Counsel for Variety Care. And it's my pleasure to be the first to welcome you to the ribbon cutting ceremony for Variety Care's Britton Health Center. We are so pleased and proud to be opening our 16th location here in Old Britton. It's been a project that is a long time in the making, filled with joy, a lot of hard work, and support from our partners and benefactors. Today, the Oklahoma weather decided to throw us a bit of a curveball, as it does sometimes. So we've changed up our program a little bit. We will be live streaming this event. If you're standing in the back, we have seating both in the front of this building and upstairs. If you'd like to go have a seat, you'll get to see everything that happens. And now it's my pleasure to introduce a Variety Care board member, as well as the past president of the board, Mariano Acuña, to give you the opening remarks.
Thank you, Melissa. You did a terrific job as always. Kind of stole most of my thunder, so I can scratch out the first paragraph. As Melissa said, good afternoon. It's always wonderful to see so many friendly, familiar, and smiling faces. Thank you for being here. My name is Mariano Acuña. I've been a Variety Care board member for about 10 years now. I joined the board in 2009 when Variety Care was but a shadow of what we know it to be today. Today is a momentous day for Variety Care. So we welcome you to the grand opening, the building dedication, and the ribbon cutting ceremony of the Britton Health Center. To begin our program, I would first like to thank our speakers for taking the time off their very busy schedules to celebrate this day with us. To my right, all to my right, representing the 5th District of Oklahoma, Congressman Steve Russell. From our state capital, representing House District 99, Dr. George Young. And of course, our newly elected mayor of Oklahoma City, the Honorable David Holt. To my left, and right in front of me to my left as well, and also joining us are Don Nevard, past board chair of Variety Care, and Lou Carmichael, our visionary chief executive officer. I am also humbled, thank you. Much deserved applause, thank you. I am also humbled and honored to introduce my friend and senior pastor of the Britton Christian Church, Pastor Mike Hayes. Thank you for being here, Mike. Pastor Hayes will deliver an invocation to begin our program. If you will, thank you.
Let's pray. Father, we are so grateful for this day. We've been waiting for this day for a long time. We're grateful for your faithfulness, for your love. We're grateful for these folks who have chosen to move into this community to help those that are hurting, to help those that are in need. We ask your blessings upon every person that works here at Variety Care. Lord, that they would love with your heart of love, that they would care with your compassion, and that you would provide them with everything that they need to minister to the needs of your people in this community. Lord, we love you, but it's your love for us that overwhelms us. We pray this in Christ's name. Amen.
Pastor Hayes, I know you as Mike. Thank you for the many years of selfless service to this community. Your dedication is admirable. You are in every sense of the word a stalwart of this community. I also have a few more introductions to make before we get this program started. First, and I'll do this in group, first, would all elected officials at all levels of our government please stand to be recognized? I know we've got a few. Maybe up on stage? Well, there you go. I guess they're all up on stage. Second, and I do recognize a few faces in the audience, would my fellow Variety Care and Variety Care Foundation board members of present and past please stand? We thank you for deciding that quality healthcare should be affordable and accessible. Your leadership and service make today's celebration possible. It is my honor to also recognize those individuals and organizations who have gone above and beyond by believing and investing in this project. Your generosity is overwhelming. Longtime friends of Variety Care present today, would you please stand so we may acknowledge your contributions to the Britton Health Center, the Inasmuch Foundation, if we have somebody here from the Inasmuch, maybe in the overflow room, the McLaughlin Family Foundation, and Jean and David McLaughlin for underwriting the Healthy Expectations pilot. Thank you very much. Projects like the Britton Health Center require vision and tenacity. The impressive health center you see today is the product of the efforts of many people and organizations. You will hear about many of them throughout the program today. We began this journey into the old Britton community in 2014. We knew that this area of Oklahoma City was underserved and in great need of medical, dental, vision, mental health, and pharmacy services. Our study of the community proved that Old Britton is one of the most densely populated areas of Oklahoma City, and the proportion of residents who live in poverty was higher than that of the city, the county, and state demographics. In other words, a community in great need. Old Britton was part of a town that had struggled and just needed a helping hand and those who would believe in them. It was a perfect challenge for Variety Care to take our vision of health and well-being to Old Britton. This project at the Britton Health Center shows the sheer determination of our board and staff. Today, we celebrate that this idea, which started as a small idea in our boardroom and a small conversation, is now what you see, this impressive, beautiful building just ready to serve our community. Variety Care is designated as a federally qualified health center, and as such receives a federal grant through the Bureau of Primary Health Care. Those funds represent approximately 14% of our operating budget and help cost of care to the uninsured. Those would be people who live at or below 200% of the poverty guidelines. Nationwide, community health centers like Variety Care are a valued part of the healthcare delivery system. We are grateful that Congressman Russell is here to share his views on the role health centers play and why Congress, in this day and age, has had a bipartisan agreement of support for decades. It is why the state of Oklahoma partners with community health centers, Variety Care and others, through many of its agencies to provide vaccines for children, women, infant, children, nutrition support, contracts with the Oklahoma Healthcare Authority, collaborations with the Department of Human Services, the Veterans Administration, and other community health and human services agencies. At the local level, communities must have healthy, vital citizens to increase the quality of life and the livability of a city. Oklahoma City has recognized that a strategy to increase health and well-being lifts all neighborhoods, and that access to primary and preventive health is a key building block to better health. As a true partner to our city, Variety Care has been serving Oklahoma City since 1932. Our next three speakers need no introduction, but they've been introduced. They will give us their perspective at the federal, state, and local vantage point by sharing the impact of variety care and the Britton Health Center. Elected in 2014 to the United States House of Representatives, Steve Russell represents our 5th district. Also elected in 2014 from the Oklahoma State House of Representatives, Dr. George Young serves District 99, and of course, as I said earlier, our newly elected Mayor David Holt of Oklahoma City. Gentlemen, again, thank you for being here. Congressman Russell, if you would do us the honor.
What a great day to go from groundbreaking to actual facility that you already have people kind of having need immediately, and then the kind of folks that make up this whole effort are, of course, taking them in as we speak. It's exciting. As I have gone to the different facilities around our great community that Variety Care has, well, it just keeps getting better and better. And I look at so many here that have made that possible. You know, I often joke there's nothing so hard in government that we can't make harder. And if we're going to have solutions, it's got to be at the local level. And here we see that. And Lou, I can't say enough good things about the work that you do. And if people aren't motivated on these things, you're going to get them motivated. And we really appreciate, we can't really say thank you enough for your tireless efforts. And looking at the board members that are here and the work, Dr. Shipke, so many, Dr. Stewart, I see him in the back as I've looked at a couple of, the pediatrician centers that are there. It almost makes me want to be a kid again and just go get treated. And as tall as Dr. Stewart is, you feel like a kid when you're there looking up to him as well. But we just appreciate the passion that people have. There's other things that you could do. There's probably other efforts that you could be, maybe it might be more noteworthy or draw the public's attention or something like that. But really the work that is done, you can't measure the impact. $14 here, $30 there. It might be everything to a particular family. And the worries that are taken off of them, then we don't know how to measure that. And we can make an investment now as a community with a public-private partnership. 14% federal funding for something like this, that's not a huge amount. And I can think of few things that we do fund where the dollars are stretched to cover and save and help and do so much good. When I was first introduced to the work of Variety Care by a former state Senate colleague, Andrew Rice, and he sat down and talked with me about it one day, and I became a big fan from that point on and a big believer about what this does and what it means. And we're committed to this type of work because government really should prevent things that are bad to communities, and they should promote the things that are good. And this is something that we should promote. And I will always be one of your allies in these efforts because it's so very important in the changed lives that we see, the improved health. And I want to say something too about our corporate sponsors and our generous donors in the community that we all live and share. There's a lot of things that, you could put those efforts to, but you choose, I see Gene Rainbolt here today, and I want to be like him when I grow up someday. Not only is he a great soldier and warrior of the past, but he's still out there fighting for the community. And we really appreciate the community stepping up and doing this public-private partnership. It means so very much. We don't know what the outcome always is. You may never see the result. You might not even be able to measure all of the different things that are there. But the labor can't be bad when you know it's going to so many good things. It's good to be home. America is safe until Labor Day because we're not there. So we're in good shape. And I'm thrilled with my staff that's here today. As we continue to work with you in the communities, many of you already know them. I have Laura Irvin who serves with me in DC. She handles all of our healthcare policy, and she's a Spencer girl. And so when I come home, she gets to come home for a period of time too, and we appreciate that. And I have Shamia Jackson. She was here. There she is in the back. She is my field rep for this area as well. And then, of course, the venerable Craig Smith that everybody knows. The Pope could be with Craig Smith and everybody would say, "Hey, Craig, how's it going?" So we really appreciate his hard work. But thanks for letting us participate today. Hopefully, the honor of this office to bring attention to all of this great work will continue to be used for that purpose. And I'm a big fan. Keep fighting. Thank you.
Good afternoon to everyone. I don't have any staff. I was on the board of United Way, so I can still boss Debbie Hampton around a little bit, yeah. But that's about as far as I can go. What a great pleasure and honor it is to be in this place for this purpose and to serve this people. It is more than words that are spoken today. It is the potential that excites me. We have and we are creating another opportunity to impact the health and the standard of living for many who desire better but struggle with life issues. I was pleased and honored to be here. It seems only a few months ago when we broke ground. Now we are able to see that potential of that day become the promise of this day for the progress of tomorrow. Progress that is transformed into longer life, better life, a life of hope and change. We still have much to do. And as a legislator, and Mike, I still call myself a pastor, I must preach to the role of government and community to join in this moment to make tomorrow better. Medicaid expansion and uncompensated care are part of the sermon I must preach daily. They must work hand in hand with this wonderful facility to continue this progress. May God bless and keep each and every one of you, and may God bless this wonderful project.
Good afternoon. It's always nice to be in old Britton. Of course, Britton was once its own city, and then it surrendered to the armies from the south, north, east, and west. It can always be a little tense to go into one of our occupied territories, but I've been received well so far, and everybody has welcomed the mayor of Oklahoma City with open arms, and I appreciate that. I want to say, from both the mayoral hat, and I was until recently a state senator, a place Steve served and a place George wants to serve. I don't know why, but he does. And so we all have that in common. So I've seen it at both the local and state level. And what I would say is about government and about the services that Variety Care provides, we depend at the government level, both at the city and the state, on agencies like Variety Care, because really we are and have a political culture of being a low-tax state in the state of Oklahoma and in the city of Oklahoma City. And despite what you'll hear from candidates around this time, that you largely get what you pay for. And so we really need Variety Care and other agencies like it meeting these needs, because you have the same needs in low-tax states and high-tax states. The states where government provides service and states where government doesn't meet those needs. The needs still exist. And so we have a very strong partnership in places like Oklahoma with places like Variety Care, because we need each other. I'm the mayor, and so everybody thinks I can solve every problem, right? They're going to come to me with whatever it is. And when it comes to the key healthcare services that Variety Care offers, I have very little to offer that person, but I can guide them to something like Variety Care. And so I can't tell you how grateful I am to have that partnership. And I know we all are, who work at the city level and at the state level. It's nice to know that we have people out there like Lou and her team meeting these critical needs in our communities. More specifically to Variety Care, George, Lou, and I toured a Southside facility a few months ago, and it is a very impressive network that you built here in Oklahoma City, and I'm so glad that it now extends up here to this facility. And I would add, sort of wearing more of my kind of civic hat, you know, this is a tough area. It needs help. He talked about, you know, the health challenges that this zip code faces. But it's also an economically depressed area. You know, it has a great look. I'm glad you're all kind of being exposed to it today, because there's a lot of people putting some money into Britton right now. There's investment happening here. There's people buying properties. It's a neat little main street that's just right under our noses. We kind of blast through it on Britton Road too fast sometimes, and we need to pause a moment and see the potential here. And to have this, I think, bring some attention to the area and start to provide a catalyst for what I think can happen here, and provide a world-class, beautiful investment. Sometimes what an area needs that hasn't had anything new in a long time is something shiny and new. And aside from all the wonderful services that are happening in this building, it's a beautiful building, and it's a signal that people care about Britton and care about this area and see potential here and see a future for Britton. And so I think this is not just a catalyst for better health outcomes in this area, but also a catalyst for better development and a brighter future for Britton that is already happening. And so I assume your team is gotten to know the neighbors, and I think that's a wonderful thing. There's some great people that I've met with recently who have a bright vision for Britton that I think Variety Care will fit right in with. So I say to all of you involved in this, congratulations. And thank you for all you do for Oklahoma City.
Well, that's going to change. Gentlemen, thank you again. From a national, state, and local perspective, health centers are making a difference. We appreciate your public service. As I said, to my left is Don Nevard. Don is truly the consummate Variety Care board member. Don has been with Variety Care since 2004. He has served as past president, treasurer, past vice chair, chair of the business development committee. He was also named to the delegation committee when Oklahoma Community Health Services acquired Variety Health Center and merged old Variety and the OCHS in 2009. Don, should I say this? Don is an attorney by profession, cares about the underserved, and most importantly, loves to build stuff. Variety Care is the perfect fit for his interests, his talents, and his skill set. Don, if you will help us with the history of the project, we would appreciate that.
With that introduction, I think I'm going to quit while I'm ahead. That was pretty good. Thanks, Mariano, and thank you for your service to the board. Mariano has also been with Variety Care for a long, long time, and has been a past president, and has been involved like I've been involved. There are some of us, virtually everybody who serves on the board gets caught up in this, and it's a great thing, and we're around, and we will be there as long as they want us. As Mariano said, he came to the board at the first meeting when the board voted to merge with Variety Health, and that was in 2009. And under his leadership, the organization and the board has matured, expanded, and that's why one of the reasons we're here today. Variety Care has a great nonprofit board with real team players. There's very seldom a meeting that we aren't all there. We believe in the mission. We have a passion for helping low-income communities get better. The Variety Care board is truly a board unlike I've ever seen. It's all in. We're there all the time. As Mariano mentioned, getting here to Britton was a rocky road. At sometimes it was with a lot of luck. In 2014, our staff met with teachers, business owners, local churches. We had several town hall meetings. We also had enough interest to apply for a Health Resources Administration grant. that would allow Variety Care to move into this neighborhood and expand our mission and create more access. And that's really what we are about. We want the capacity, but we also want access for those who can't have access to health care. That's extremely important. We were successful in that grant application and have secured ongoing funding for operations. We were so encouraged that Variety Care bought a piece of ground at the corner of Britton and Walker and set out to build a very small health center. We had built 2 or 3 before, and this was just in that same plan. As we began looking at the site, we noticed that that site was just not big enough. We thought there was great demand here. People needed great access here. And so we went forward and we found, gee, what about this school on Classen here? I mean, this school on Britton Road and Classen is in terrible shape. It's demolished. It's terrible. So we went out and the team made a deal and bought this site. We acquired the land and all it's around. Well, with that start, we did some planning, decided this was really a type of place that ought to be a campus. We could have a health center, but there were places for other services that could be offered to this community. And that was, again, something that we're about, creating more access for all sorts of services, both social and medical. With enough land, we could bring other partners to work in the areas of expertise to serve the neighborhood and get more people coming to this campus. We developed a master plan with the development of the campus and are today in discussions with other partners who may join us here. As you can see, when you first came in, we have a large parking lot, and that was designed to accommodate other service partners. We had the vision. Now the real problem was, how are we going to pay for this? That's always been a problem with a nonprofit. We had great visions. We have a board that wanted to do this. We were all in. How do we pay for it? Well, we knew that the hub would be the center. And about a year later, we successfully won a round of HRSA financing for $1 million. But that was about 1/10 of what we needed. We needed $10 million. This is where we got lucky again. We contacted REI and New Market Redevelopment to secure placement of new market tax credits. We reached out to local donors and foundations for additional funding to secure the funding gap. That was in September of 2016, and we had a hard close date for purposes of the tax credit financing of year-end 2016. We were told that it was almost impossible to close a tax credit deal faster than 6 months. With great legal and financial assistance, we did close it in 4 months. That got us to the year end. We could not have done this without the ability to leverage HRSA federal dollars, new market tax credits, and philanthropic support. We had an opportunity, and it was an opportunity that we could not and would not pass up. Without our partners at Bank First, incredible help, numerous times, and the Sarkees Foundation, and I call out specifically Gene Rainbolt and Patrick Lipman, who are here. If you guys would stand up right now for a second so everybody can see you. And Kim Henry, we would not be standing here today. We are also grateful to our legal counsel, Christian Guzzi and Kristen Anderson. I don't know if they're here or not. If they are, can you wave or stand up? No? Okay. Of Hartsog Conger for pushing the timeline to close by the end of the year 2016. Through a competitive bid process, we engaged Hornbeek Black Architects. Mr. Hornbeek, would you please wave and let people know who you are? To design this building. I want to say something about it. He's been around with us for a long time, and he is as much involved with us with our passion and finding access and capacity than anybody, and he's not on the board. And he designed the building and the integrated workspaces, and I encourage you all, if you haven't done that, take a walk through here and see what is available. And we hired Grote Caston, or Caston Grote. I've known Rusty Caston for a long while, and I'm not sure who goes first today anymore, to be our construction contractor. And they too have been around Variety Care for a long while and served us incredibly well. And would you guys please stand up? And we hired our trusty companion, Jim Snoddy Properties, who was our construction representative. And Jim, would you please stand up? He kept us well informed, and he kept Rusty and Eric online, right? Sort of something like that. Okay. That's it. This site has the capacity to provide health care and social services to about 15,000 new patients, adding healthcare capacity, adding healthcare access. And as I've said over and over again, that's what our mission has been about and what it is about and will continue to be about. To all who helped, thank you. A job well done. And again, I ask you to give your applause to these folks. Our closing speaker is Luke Carmichael, and to coin a phrase, she is our mother motivator. She served as Variety Care's Chief Executive Officer and Executive Director of the Variety Care Foundation. Lou.
Thank you, Don. You know, I want to repeat every single name that everybody's already said because I'm so grateful to all of them for what we've accomplished together. I do have a few other names to add to that list, and that are the partners and the vendors and the companies that really have helped us achieve this. Sometimes we forget that without all of that commerce and partnership, we could not do what we do. And some of our friends here from the Oklahoma Primary Care Association, from the Oklahoma Health Care Authority, the Oklahoma State Department of Health, City County Health Department. I mentioned our vendors, DLO and Patterson specifically. I wanted to thank them. North Care, Hearts for Hearing, who will be on site here. United Way of Central Oklahoma, and a lot of our partners that have come today just to help us celebrate. And Debbie, thank you for being here. And the business district of Britton, who's helped us kind of move into the neighborhood. The Britton churches and organizations who've kind of held out their arms and shaken our hands and told us to keep going, this is going to be a good thing, don't look back, keep going, don't look back. And the schools and the teachers and the principals have just been really wonderful welcoming us to this neighborhood. So I want you to know that we are all grateful that you all are here. And the last group that I want to acknowledge is really the, as I call them, the secret sauce of what makes this happen, and that is our staff. And our executive and our planning team, our newly hired Britton staff, our IT people, our facilities, our outreach personnel, they have put so much of themselves into the choices and decisions and all the things that go into building a building like this. It's a real family effort, and we've done that together. Special thanks to our CFO, Tim Redout, who managed so much of the financing and the construction details, and Andrew Washburn, who is our internal project manager, Lori Timmons, who wrote both federal grants and got them funded. Never forget to thank a grant writer. And Jill Monte for all the selections of finishings and art and coordination that you'll see all throughout the building. It's really a beautiful project that came together. So I want to thank you for getting this over the finish line. And if all the staff that are here would just stand for just a minute, I really want you to give them a big shout out. Carol. Wait, I guess they're all sitting in the lobby watching us beam this in. Well, you've heard everything you need to know about what it took to get us here. But what I really want to talk about is what happens next. You look at this beautiful building and you see all the potential. You go out into the parking lot and you see some vacant ground that looks like more opportunity. And you look a little further down the street, east, west, south, north, it still looks a little rough, right? So we have to be visionary about what we really want to see. And if you look a little farther with me, what you will see are healthier pregnancies and normal birth weights, lower tobacco use, lower to obesity, recovery from opioid addiction through medically assisted treatment and therapy. You'll see people who feel safe when they go to the doctor or the dentist and who feel welcomed when they come. You'll see healthy babies and toddlers. You'll see less substance abuse. You'll see kids who are thriving. You'll see jobs and employment because we will hire people from this community to work here. We'll see patient events in the parking lot. We'll see community events that we can participate in and help with. We'll see space for a community garden. We see parents who are better equipped to raise their kids. We see nutrition and chronic disease management for the elderly. We see uninsured adults going to the doctor when they need to and not waiting until they're really sick. We see people taking their medication because they can afford it at our pharmacy. We see kids without tooth decay and have clear vision in first grade, third grade, fifth grade, seventh grade, and all the way through high school. And as a result, with all that intervention, we'll see higher graduation rates and lower recidivism, incarceration. We'll see less child abuse, domestic violence, and elder neglect. Because when you have renewal, recovery, and restoration, it all starts with something like this. With patient education, mental health integration, oral health, vision health, and all the other wraparound services that we will offer here or by referral. We see the Britton Road corridor coming back to life as we work alongside with residents, businesses, churches, nonprofits, and schools who are already here doing this work, and we're joining them. There is something new in old Britton. And I know we won't actually accomplish it like tomorrow. I mean, this is a long, long strategy view. But we're not short-sighted and we're not naive. It's going to take a lot of hard work, steadfast faithfulness to something we see beyond where we are today. But it will happen. And this building makes a statement to our community that says, we are here to help you stand up to the challenges of poverty, support your family, become more resilient, and raise healthy kids. We are here to make a difference, and this building says we are here to stay. So through this lens, this is what success and leverage look like in community health. All around the country, all around Oklahoma, and here at Variety Care. This is what we mean by community health, and we want to be at its center. And it's a center where everyone would want to go, and even better, everyone can. We need congressional support to continue for sure, so that we can make sure people have access. And the Oklahoma State Legislature must restore funding to community health centers this session. We're going to have to get some roads fixed. Right, Mayor? We can do that, right? So at the federal, state, and local level, it takes an army of volunteers, bankers, attorneys, lawmakers, architects, everything. It takes all of us to put something like this together. This is Nehemiah work, rebuilding. And it began with people who recognized that something different could happen. And you've heard many of their names today. I'm so grateful to all of you coming along with us to get to this place. But I'd like for you to make a future date with yourself and Variety Care and me. I'd like you to get on your mobile phone sometime, and I'd like you to open up a calendar event, and I'd like you to date it August 14th, 2033. I looked it up. It's a Sunday, so you'll have time. And I want the calendar event to say, drive down Britton Road from Pennsylvania to Broadway Extension. And remember where you were 15 years ago, in the rain or the sun at 721 Britton Road, right across the street from the Owl Court. That's when you really, really will not believe the dividends that this investment will make. And you won't believe what you see. So this is the building dedication. This is the part where I will likely cry. So just get over it. So with this vision in mind, the Board of Directors of Variety Care, the Variety Care Foundation, our clinical, professional, administrative program, and support staff dedicate this building to service and to the purpose of making quality health care affordable and accessible to anyone who needs our help. Thank you.